Today's video is about research I did, some research I conducted, you know, and a bit of a survey that was done. And it's all about some of the things that photographers hate to hear, hate to see, hate to encounter, hate to have to deal with. You understand? So I have them all here on my device. I'll be going through them one by one and providing some explanations, some insights, and anything else I can provide onto why these are some things that we don't like, hate, loathe, whatever. I can relate to most, if not all of them. So the first one is, wait, roll intro.
One song.
First thing is asking for raw images. Now, I'm going to go on a limb here and say persons don't really mean raw majority of the times when they say raw. Now, let me give you some information. There is a difference in the photography world between raw images and unedited images. Two different things. Now, raw images are photos or the files that come straight from the camera as a format in which we can shoot. Now, I am almost sure that if I should send somebody a raw file, they won't know what to do with it. More than likely, you don't even have a software to even open, convert, or even to even attempt to use that raw file. Right? A raw file for the most part is around 50 to 60 megabytes for just one file, depending on the camera you're using. Maybe like 30 megabytes, 40 megabytes. If you have a more higher end camera, even 100 megabytes just for one raw file. For us to send you all the raw files, you're looking at maybe 32 to 60 something gigs of images from one session. So whenever a person says, hey, can we get the raw files? I have to really think to myself and say, I know you say raw file, but really and truly you don't mean raw file. What you mean is unedited files. Now, some people really and truly understand the difference and they are really and truly asking for the raw files. But we don't give out raw files like that. You can get the raw files under some circumstances, and it's not just okay here, take them. It's under some kind of a contract and there are usage terms and so on and so forth. But for those who don't know the difference, which is majority of people who are asking for raw files, they really and truly just want the unedited photos now. Depending on the shoot, depending on certain variances, sometimes I or we may be more or so reluctant to hand out unedited files. One of the main reasons I can say for myself is that I shoot to edit. So many times I might take a photo and I might see something in the background that is very distracting that really takes away from the photo. If I should give you that unedited file, it would not be a true representation of the art that I can produce. So I try to stay away from sending people unedited images. The next thing is that the unedited image is typically probably 25% of the true quality of the image, because once I go through and I run that through my program and I do my color corrections and I do my skin retouching, and depending on the type of shot that I'm hired to do or contracted to do rather, when I do my edits, the shots are just that much better. So it makes me feel a bit weird sometimes when persons want the unedited files. Many times I'm hearing that, hey, these files aren't even edited and I love them as is. They are perfect. They are good. I have a different set of eyes than most people. Sometimes I have to just try and just take the personal out of it, but it's very, very hard. But yeah, not gonna spend too much time on that one because I have quite a few. But yeah, when persons ask for raw images, so I hope me explaining that whole thing a while ago gave you some insight. Please don't ask for raw images. Really and truly, we don't want to give them to you. Please don't ask for unedited images because really and truly don't want to give them to you. However, there are certain circumstances in which they can be handed over, but don't ask for them last minute, In the initial stages when we're talking about the shoot and the session and what you want to do and what you're hoping to achieve, ask us at that time so we can prepare. When you're saying, you just say, hey, just send us all the raw files. Not good. Really, really not good. All right, so the second thing here on the list is asking us to replicate someone else's work. Now, I am not a magician, and I cannot look on somebody's work and then give you the exact look, right? It could be the person's skin tone, it could be the camera, it could be the lens, it could be the lighting, it could be the location, it could be a limitation in knowledge that I have when it comes down to editing or photo manipulation and all that kind of stuff. And as artists, it's kind of not something that we like to do. It's something that we don't do, something that we should not do, which is copy other people's work, right? Just like when you're in school and you're doing like an essay and they say don't plagiarize it, you have to, show, what's the thing again, man? You have to have your, oh my goodness. Why my brain moves so slow now? Your references. Yes, you have to show your references whenever you're doing your work. In the artistic world, we're not going to say, oh, hey. Well, I might say, hey, this was inspired by my friend's photo or this was inspired by this person's photo. But really and truly, we like to put our own creative touch and spin and stuff. So don't go on Pinterest and find a photo and be like, hey, I saw this and I like how it looks and I want a photo exactly like this. More than likely, we can't do it. We can use inspiration from it to create something that's amazing, but don't ask us to replicate somebody else's work. It's not gonna happen. If you see somebody do a particular shoot and you like how it looks and you want it like how you see it, then go to the person or try and reach out to the person who's the original creator of that art, because then you'll get exactly what you want. But if you want something that is inspired by this person's work or looks somewhat similar, has a similar mood, feel, color scheme, the color palette, something. But don't say, hey, I want it to look exactly like this. Well, I can't do it. And I won't promise anybody that I can do that. All right. Number 3 is when clients are late. I can bet, and 9.5 out of 10 times I'll win, that the clients may be late. No, not bashing anybody, but I think sometimes we are just Jamaicaning. And I think there may be a case in which we just don't really have that much of a good sense of respect for time. I've come to understand, being a Jamaican myself, that we are only early. So you might be wondering to yourself, like, what was that weird cut? So my battery just died and I just changed it, and while I could probably just cut the video, and I like to keep my videos real. So here we go again. I was talking about the things that we don't like. I was on number 3. When clients are late. Yeah, and I was saying to myself that majority of times, what was I saying again? I think we have a very poor sense of punctuality amongst ourselves, and we're only early for majority of times the first day of school, if we have to go to the embassy, and if we go to the embassy and we are successful, if we have to fly out to go to foreign, but there are clients who are early and I really appreciate them. There are some clients who are even repeat clients and they're always late. We still do appreciate them. We just wish that they would be early, the next time. Majority of the times, though, it's not necessarily the client's fault, and we don't want to really blame anybody. I try to tell persons you even know, and this is a nitpick you can take if you're a photographer, looking for some inspiration or some education. Because as you know, I'm here to teach, inspire, and educate, right? So I tell persons now who are booking with me to, if you have a makeup appointment, try to make your appointment be at least 2 hours. 2 hours before your photo shoot. Hopefully, the makeup artist is in close proximity to me, and if I am coming to you, then all the better. Hopefully you can get to your makeup artist, be finished, and get to the location and everything on time if you have like a 2 hour window. Makeup would usually take somewhere between a half an hour to an hour, maybe, depending on what you're doing, and hopefully you're not too far away from where the location is. So if you get there on time and the makeup, if you get there on time and the makeup artist begins on time and then you finish on time, hopefully you have enough time after that to get to the location or whatever needs to happen. Sometimes it's not the client's fault. The makeup artist may say, okay, I have a reservation for you at 10. Somebody else was late at, say, 9 o'clock. They came in at 9:20. Now, they weren't finished until 10:20. So now you started your makeup at 10:20 instead of 10 o'clock. So then that push you up to, more time, and then it's just a ripple effect. So I can understand and I sympathize sometimes with clients when they say, hey, it was this and it was that, and sometimes traffic and some long trail and the road broke down, and you have extra traffic to go around, and all manner of evil can happen, and it impedes on the time. Unfortunately, being that we are the last line, or we're the last persons in the line to give you what you need, so you're going to ensure you have your clothes sorted out. You probably eat or don't eat before. It all depends on what we're doing. Or a snack, so you're going to get your food and your drink or whatever. Makeup going to get done, hair going to get done, and then we are the last persons in line. However, just as how the reservation was made for your hair or for your makeup and maybe something happened with the time, it's not something that we can just say, you know what, cool, and let it bypass and just go on and go on. We have to really address it. And when I say address it, I mean in the sense that I want clients to understand that if you have a session at 3 p.m. and it's from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., majority of times there may be a case in which the photographer has another session at 4:30. Right? So if you arrive at 3:50 for your shoot, right, it takes time for the photographer to probably even set up a different lighting, a different set design. It all depends on what we're doing, right? So a person wants to do a shoot with, let's say, a nude background and some vases, some pampas grass, a chair, some mirrors, some white flowers, and they have asked us to do the set design for them. So what we have done is from 3 to 4, we know we have your session. And then we have between 4 and 4:30 to do the set design. So when this person comes in at 4:30, they are ready and the set is ready and we can go. If you are supposed to be at the studio or on the location or whatever it is at 3 p.m., you have a good amount of shots to take as well as outfit changes, and you are more than half an hour late for your session for whatever reason. We cannot just pardon you because you're going to come now and you're going to cut into somebody else's time, and then it just going to look bad when a person comes and they have already booked and reserved as you would have booked and reserved, and just as so you as the client would not like to have, you would not like to have a photographer having you there sitting down waiting on a time schedule for which you would have booked. So sometimes we just say if you're more than a half an hour late, might as well just try and reschedule. You understand? And we'll probably add a rescheduling fee, or probably we see it as a cancellation. We all work with contracts, and the contracts will outline what happens in what sense, in what occasion, and you sign to the contract, just uphold the contract. But we're not going to go, this is not really something to really, go too deep into. It's not that much of a, telling us to Photoshop that. Oh my goodness. Now, I understand that persons have, become more aware of the powers of Photoshop, but not everybody is as skilled as everybody. And sometimes, depending on the type of shoot that you would have booked and the arrangements that you would have made with the photographer for the shoot, it doesn't really include those advanced stuff that you're asking for. And we're not magicians. So a person may come and they have a whole, let's say, a blazer, and the blazer is not iron, that it's full of creases and crush and all sort of stuff, and the pants never ironed properly, and then you did wear the shoes from way around one place, and you come and there's a lot of red dirt stains on the shoes, and then you're gonna pose for the shot and you're gonna be like, oh, just Photoshop that. I'm not saying that some of us aren't capable of doing it, but it's just to say, hey, just Photoshop that, like you feel like it's just, hey, it's just a one press, you click on something 1-2 times and it fixed, right? And I think this is going to come into play for another point that I have further down, and I'm going to link it to it, but I'm not going to go too deep into number 4. I'm just going to say that, let me just say whatever. I'm just going to say that do not tell us to just Photoshop that. We don't like to hear it, because it makes it sound as if you believe that Photoshopping something is a simple 1-2 click and it's easy and we can do it in no time, when really and truly there may be several long steps, layers upon layers upon layers of editing that we have to do just to get that image to look how you would envision it in your mind. And then we want to have consistency across the board. So if I should do that for one photo, I have to do that for all photos, and that's probably more than, you know what, moving on. Number 5, inviting us to places and then asking us to bring our camera. So you're my friend or whatever, or you're my acquaintance, you're my colleague, and you say to me, hey, I'm having a little brunch event, or I'm having a baby shower, or whatever. I want you to pass through, come and support, I want you to be there. Cool, I'm expecting to come and be a patron. I'm coming to celebrate and, whatever. Then you add on the bring a camera, or oh, it's my birthday today and me and so and so and so, we wanted to go to this particular place and we're just calling to find out if you'd be interested in coming out with us and whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah man, that sounds cool, we can forward, man. I would like to come. I'd like to be a part of a celebration. And then you say, hey, alright, so cool, bring a camera when you're coming, alright? When you say bring a camera, I just get sick. I just have flu. I just have bronchitis. I just have a terrible migraine. You understand? Because no, you are not really inviting us to be a part of whatever. You're inviting us because we have a camera and we can take some nice photos while we're there. No, man. If I so be the case, tell me, say, hey, you know me have a small thing, and we don't even like that. But anyways, we have a small thing and I can't pay you for your full time. I know say you work this, but I want you forward and capture some shots and, give you this, give you that, whatever. Work out something. Present it or package it a different way, but don't invite us to places and then say, oh, and bring a camera just because. Allow me to bring my camera because I want to bring my camera. And if I don't bring my camera, don't ask me why I never bring my camera. Is it? Alright. Number 6. Saying to photographers that, hey, you have a real nice camera though, because the photos look so nice, I remember reading some stuff about this, and I'll tell you my take on it afterwards. But pretty much it was saying that whenever you tell a photographer that their photos are nice, or their photos are really fire, you love them, they're so beautiful, then you say, yeah, man, your camera nice, man, you have a real nice camera. It would be like you go into a restaurant or wherever and you go to a bakery, you buy a slice of cake and you're like, oh my god, this cake tastes so good, you must have a really nice oven. You go to a family get together and something, your auntie is there, she's cooking some food and the food tastes nice, food share out, plate up everything nice. Food tastes good, you're like, yeah man, auntie, this tastes good. Man, the stove at work, you have a real nice stove. Please to understand that the camera is a tool that makes us create or helps us to create the art that you see and love. So it's not the camera that is good, it's the photographer that is good. Because guess what? You can have somebody that has the same camera, same lens, same lights, everything. And they can present themselves and take a photo and it won't look like the one that you saw and loved, because the way how we capture, the angle we chose to go for, the way we chose to do the composition, the way we chose to do our lighting, the way we chose to edit the photo, all those things have a factor to play in the final look of the image. So we don't have a real nice camera, we just have knowledge of what we're doing, we have a powerful skill set, and we just use it to the best of our abilities to create art. But don't tell us, but we have a real nice camera. Alright, ooh, this is a lot of stuff. Next one is people with their phones blocking my shot at weddings. Let me say this to somebody out there. Let me come closer to the camera. If you're a patron at a wedding and you see that there's a photographer there capturing photos, this person was hired and paid to capture the wedding. Now, we understand that you want memories on your phone as well, and I'm not saying that you cannot take some shots, right? But please exercise a bit of leniency for us. Should I say leniency? Have a heart, right? The bride and the groom is going to cuss us out if we don't get that nice first kiss shot, if we don't get the shot when the rings are being placed on the fingers, you know, and other very, very important shots. So try your best not to block us when we are capturing. Many times I've been at weddings and I've been both a photographer, I've been both a patron, I've been even a member of the bridal party. And many times the photographer is there, even the videographer is there as well. And he's capturing the footage to present the video or the photo to the clients afterwards. And I see persons get up and literally block the photographer, block the videographer, completely disregarding the person who was actually hired to do this particular job just because he wants a shot. Come on. Don't be disrespectful. Get some help. But yeah, for real. Yeah, people like to block me all the time. And I'm like, I think the best thing to do is to just see where you are, seated. If you feel like you want to get up and take a shot, at least, you know, just turn your head and just look to see where we are first. And then get up and take a one step and sit back down. But don't be getting up and going in the center of the aisle and walking in front of the camera. Come on now. They just spoil the entire video. You spoil the entire shot. I don't like that either. Hides a disrespect, and I will not stand for that blatant travesty of justice. Alright. Next one is asking for the photos a day after an event or photo shoot. There are times when we can deliver photos in a day, in 24 hours. Majority of that has to do with if you pay for express editing. If you have not, the standard turnaround time is around 5 to 7 business days and up to 14 to 28 to even more business days depending on the nature and duration of the shoot. Why? We don't just take the photos, take them to the workstation and press a button and it just edits and we say, okay, we're done and we deliver. We have to bring in the photos, open them up in the software, do a thing we call culling, which is pretty much searching through all the images and seeing which one is our best, not so good. You know, imagine you go and you take a shot at an event and you have a photo with somebody and they were laughing. But when you snapped the photo, it was at the end of their laugh and there was, you know, they have this little weird ugly face at the last part of the laugh and you catch it. Now, nobody wants to see that ugly laugh. Right? Maybe somebody who might have a laugh at you because of the face you're making, but then you yourself probably don't want to see that because you're probably going to share it with somebody else. Maybe you're going to share the entire album with somebody else or whatever it may be. We're going to post the entire folder online and everybody's going to see it and you don't want that photo in there. So we do a thing where we just take out all the not so pleasant shots. That takes time. Then we have to edit, probably remove this, enhance that, you know, whatever it may be. It takes time to do that as well. Then we have to double check That's for some persons. I double check. I try to double check everything. We double check, then we have to upload and send off, and and it's not just your job we're doing. So, not saying that you're gonna wait forever, but again, this is why I speak to working with contracts. So if I have a contract and it says, hey, I'll be doing your shoot and you can expect your images within 5 to 7 business days. These are not 5 to 7 calendar days, it's 5 to 7 business days. So we're only considering Monday through Friday, right? So if it says 5 to 7 business days and on the 5th business day you haven't seen it, you don't need to ask, hey, are they ready as yet? Hey, are they coming soon? Just relax. We said 5 to 7. So we can say it on the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th day. No, you see, the 7th day pass. And I told you it would be 5 to 7 days, and you don't get those photos within that 5 to 7 business day period, then yeah, man, blast up your phone, mash up your email, fill up your inbox. You understand? Yeah. But don't ask for them like a day after, because they will not be ready. Unless, of course, as I say, if a person chooses to pay for express editing, which, you can do. So ask about express editing. And it's not always offered depending on the type of shoot. Maybe you can get a few shots express and then the rest that are, normal day, normal time. But yeah, get some help. Don't ask about it the next day. Right. Asking if we would like to collaborate on a shoot. Now, I don't mind collaborations. I actually love to collaborate on various shoots. The issue I have is that many times persons want to collaborate and they have nothing to bring to the table more than, okay, I'm gonna come on the shoot. No. If I'm doing a collaboration, it should be a case where we're both benefiting, that's one, and we're both inputting as well. Right? So I am going to bring my camera and all my lighting equipment and my skill set, my knowledge, my invaluable skill set and knowledge, right? And I may bring several props and so on and so forth, and you're gonna come in an outfit and that's gonna be it. That's not really a collaboration. Let's think of a concept, something that's different, out of this world, not cliche, nice vibes, whatever. Let's discuss what do we need, so if it's whatever, I get some props, you get some props, I find a location, we can split the cost for using location if there is a cost, things like that, and we both put into the shoot. But not just, okay, I'm gonna come with all of my costly gears and you're gonna come and put on an outfit and that's it. That's not really a collaboration, because then it feels like I'm doing majority of it and you're just showing up, getting some shots taken, so my bad. Eyelash man. Oof. Alright. Number 10. Telling us that all we're doing is pressing a button. Let me tell you something. Let me come closer again. Yeah. All we do is press a button. But it's what happens in the mind before we press the button. That's the magic. Aperture, ISO, shutter speed, framing, white balance, right? Depending on what we're shooting, focus points, you can know focus assistance if we need to use it, if we're using manual focus. And then you see a button. You don't see everything that happens in the background. All you see is the button that's being pressed. You don't see the years of knowledge acquisition or the hours of knowledge acquisition to ensure that when we press that button, it's something sensible, right? This brings me back to a story. I don't remember exactly how it went, but I think it was something along the lines of, maybe it was like somebody saw Picasso in a bar. Picasso is a very famous painter. Pablo Picasso, yeah. And a person gave him a piece of paper to do something on it, like to do a little scribbled artwork or whatever it was. And when he was done, he asked the lady for some money. Let's say 50,000 for the piece of art that he just created and whatever. And she was like, but all you do was do whatever on a piece of paper. It only took you like 2 minutes. It wasn't even anything. And the man replied to her by saying, it's not that I did it in 2 minutes. It's that it took me 25 years to do it in 2 minutes. Right? So yes, we might be pressing a button, but what have we done before, in the past, leading up to that moment when we pressed the button, that makes whenever we press the button it's so epic, or something like that. Another thing I heard was, how it go again? This man wanted that door to be opened, and he called a bunch of people. They were trying to force the door open and it wouldn't open. They tried to use all kind of tools and it wouldn't open. And this man came with a hammer. He listened and knock, 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 knock and tap. In 2 minutes he found that spot, and with all the force he had, he used the hammer and he just slapped that one spot and the door opened. And when the man gave him the invoice, he was like, I'm not paying this because you're charging me way too much for just coming to use a hammer and to knock a door, or to knock a particular point on the door or whatever. No, he said, I'm not going to pay you so much money for just using a hammer and knocking a door to open it. And the man says it's not about using a hammer to knock the door. It's about the years of knowledge and experience I have that made me know what to listen for and where to knock for the door to open. So as we say, we click a button, we just press a button, but we're not just pressing a button. There's a lot behind what we're pressing, how we're pressing, and how we got to that point where we can just seemingly just press a button and magic happens. Right? So the next one here is clients canceling because they found someone cheaper or a family member said that it's not worth it. What family member? Why you stay so? Why you stay so, family member? But either ways, when a person cancels because they found someone cheaper, I simply say, well, I'm happy you could find a better deal and all the best with that. I hope they provide a service that you are okay with in the end, and hopefully in the future we can do something else. Hopefully we can shoot together sometime in the future, so on and so forth. Majority of the times persons DM me, they might text me, email me, whatever it may be, and say that they are very sorry that they didn't shoot with me. And I even have colleagues who get those same messages at the same time as well. Persons initially wanted to book with them and they found that cheaper person and they went with that person, and then they realized that the results are SHI and they're so sad, and they want us to even edit the photos that the person took that are SHI. You understand? Now, we don't edit other person's photos without consent from that photographer, and even so we would need the raw files from that photographer to edit, because editing JPEGs are really stressful, very, very stressful. Alright, so, and also if you come to us to edit somebody else's work, it may cost you close to, if not the same amount as the shoot that you'd have booked with us in the first place, because now we're going to have to go in and do probably a lot more corrective work. As you know, if you are doing corrective work, it's more expensive than just going straight up and doing it right the first time. So you have something and somebody's supposed to repair it. Let's say you have to wire a house or something, and you get a bandul or a cheaper electrician to come and wire the house, and him do some madness, and then you start realizing some things now work so sensibly in the house, and then you get a certified electrician now to come in. He's going to charge you more because now he has to undo what that person did and then do it correctly, versus if you had just hired him initially, there would be a low cost because he's just doing one job. So we don't like when persons say they find someone cheaper and then don't come to us and asking us to fix it, because it will cost you. And we may not be able to do it if the person who is the original copyright owner, which is the photographer, if he does not grant us, consent. If he does not consent to us editing his images, then we can't. Or, well, we're not supposed to. And if we decide not to, well, you can't vex us because that's a copyright infringement. Right. Next thing is when authority says you can't take pics here. So this is, I understand that there are rules and regulations, and you have some persons who they will see us with a camera and be like, hey, you can't take pictures here. However, you have persons walking with their phones and taking pictures. You have persons with their phones taking videos and whatever. But because you see my camera and my camera equipment, you're gonna say I can't take a photo here or a photo there. It may not be for a client. I could be doing it because it's a hobby. I could be doing it because I'm trying to build my personal portfolio, so it's not really something I'm gaining from, in the moment or whatever. It's just for content creation or the content acquisition. And they're gonna be like, hey, you can't take photos here. Like, why? Why, miss? Why, sir? You got up and you chose violence today. Alright. Moving on. I think there's a few left. When persons say that the pictures are mine because I paid for my shoot, so I can do whatever I want with them. Let me come closer to the screen for this again. Alright. Public service announcement. Whenever you book a shoot with a photographer, unless otherwise stated in writing and signed by both parties, the photos automatically begin. The photo. What am I saying? The photos automatically belong to the photographer unless it was otherwise stated or agreed upon. Anybody who presses that shutter button owns the photo. So yes, you paid for your session. Yes, the photos were taken and you get to view them and choose your favorite, and they're edited, and you can buy extras if you want to, and you get personal usage rights. You can print them if you want to, use them for any personal reasons. But yeah, you don't own the photos and they're not technically yours. You're just given the go ahead and the ability and the freedom to use them under certain circumstances. So we have let me dress back. So we have various categories when it comes on to photos and photo shoots and the deliverables and what you can do with them. So for personal sessions, they're for personal use only. If it's for a business purpose now, then we have a different contract that outlines that, okay, you can use this particular photo now for trade or for whatever. You can put it on print media items. You can put it on what you call it again, like a billboard and so on and so forth. So based on the usage of the photo, it is priced differently. And if I should take a photo for you, and you say, okay, it's a personal photo shoot, I want a headshot, and then I see that particular headshot on a big billboard, I can actually, and anybody else who's a photographer can actually sue you for not utilizing the photo in its rightful terms. That's if the person has a contract working it. I work with contracts, as I think I said before, so it outlines what we're doing, what is expected, what I'm liable for, what you're liable for, what are the copyright, markers that we're going by, what you can and cannot do with the photos depending on what we're doing. If it's a video, it's kind of one and the same. Well, yeah, not because you paid for your shoot means that you own the photos and they are yours and you can do whatever you want with them, right? And that is not something that I made up. That is just the law, right? That is just the copyright law as it is. So if you don't like it, take it up with the Constitution, or take it up with Jam Copy, take it up with the Copyright Act, take it up with the persons who make these legislations. I'm just providing the facts, right? I paid my money, so I need this. Alright, so a lot of times persons, or I should say clients, they'll book a session, and because they book the session, they feel entitled that they must get this and they have to have this, and they'll want to threaten you and do the most. I like to use analogies because analogies give people a nice perspective on things. You will pay, I don't even know what the amount is now, but you go to the embassy to get your visa. let's say the US Embassy. You pay upwards of $150 or its equivalent, and you must get it. You're not guaranteed if the, what are they called? It's not customs. If the officer in the embassy deems you unfit based on what their requirements are for persons receiving visas, if you don't meet the qualifications that you're supposed to have, you're not going to get it. So you would have paid your money, but it's not what you need you're going to get. So if you think about that, when you're doing a photo shoot, don't tell the photographer that, oh, I paid the money and I need this and even. Doesn't work like that. Next, asking to remove a watermark. Now, I personally don't have an issue with not having my watermark on certain shots, especially if it's like for corporate stuff. You don't have to really have your watermark on that. That's fine. Personal shots, for my sake, I may have a small, I call it a small, non-obtrusive watermark. It's a very, very small watermark. It's just there as a marker to say, hey, I created this. Under certain circumstances, I can remove it, but I believe, especially when persons are starting out, it's a means of marketing. So you take a photo and somebody wants to share it to their friends and so on. Hopefully their friends will like it, and without them even asking you, hey, who took this photo, for you to say hey and refer us, maybe they can look at the photo and be like, all right, there's the name of the person who created this thing. Cool. If you should go out and buy a painting, more than likely you're going to see the painting, and then you're going to see the signature at the lower right or the lower left or wherever, the signature of the person who did the painting and maybe even the date. That's like a watermark. You understand? So it's a thing that creatives do, it's a thing that artists do, is to sign our work. Now, it doesn't have to be there, because irrespective of whether or not it is there, it is still our photo, we're still the copyright owners. However, when you're not so big in the business, when you're trying to create a name for yourself, when you're trying to build some sort of brand awareness, when you want persons to kind of be familiar with your style and your look, you might have persons using watermarks, but over time, you don't really have to use it. But still, if the contract stated that there would be a watermark there, don't ask us to remove it afterwards. If it did not state it, then you can probably argue it, but just ask nicely, not really bad way up. Because sometimes persons want to bad us up to remove whatever, because why, and why is it there? And sometimes they say, oh, I did this photo shoot with this person and they did not have any watermark on their photos. We are not the same. We have a whole different business structure, different mindset, and different reason for doing what we're doing. So not because John did not use watermarks on his photos means that Harry won't use it. So you have to be mindful of who you're working with and what their style is and what they do and contracts and what it says, what's going to be happening. All that stuff. Alright. Number 16, and this is the third to last one. Why haven't you posted my picture online? No, we're not entitled to posting your picture online. You have your photo, you can post it online. Right? Eventually, it may or may not become a part of our gallery, a part of our portfolio. And it's our gallery, it's our portfolio, so it's at our discretion. It doesn't mean that we don't like the shot. It doesn't mean we did not enjoy the photo session. It has absolutely nothing to do with you personally. I sometimes go a month or more and I might not post anything, I might not share any photo, because I'm busy doing other stuff and I just take a break from posting. It doesn't mean that I stop working. It doesn't mean I've stopped shooting. But I just took a break, I'm not ready yet. Sometimes it goes with the season. So if I did a particular shot for you and it gave me a particular feel, I may choose to hold on to that shot and post it at a particular time. So let's say, for instance, it's your birthday and the outfit you chose to wear for your shoot was something that could fit like a carnival vibe. You can post your photo when your birthday arrives. I may choose to hold on to it and wait for April, because going down into April is when you have more carnival vibes. So I may choose to use that photo during that time because it would shine and, you know, mesh with people probably more during that time, because that's probably what is active in that moment or in that space of time, whatever. So yeah, I haven't posted your picture online because I'm not ready yet, or because I don't want to. I don't know what else to say. Second to last, when they bring a friend or someone else to the photo shoot for them to get shots taken unknowingly, yeah, don't come to the photo shoot and then your friend is there and your friend came dressed up as well and then ask us to take a picture of your friend as well. You know, we don't like it. We don't like it. Right? If you want your friend to get a photo, or if you're taking a photo with your friend, cool. Let us know from before so we can invoice you accordingly. Or if it's a case where you're asking for a compliment or a complimentary thing, or you know, something of the sort, let it known from before. Don't just pop up and be like, oh, my friend, you can take a photo. We don't like it. We don't like it. We don't have a problem, you know. We just don't like, for most cases, the unexpected additional shoot. Because if we do this photo, one, we may not want to provide this photo as an unedited photo. It'll have to be edited because we don't want anybody using our art and it's not the best representation of our art. You forget what I'm saying? So we're going to have to edit an additional photo that we probably never planned for. You know, mentally we weren't ready. So just give us a heads up before. Don't just frighten us and shock us and surprise us with that. And the last one is when a person asks, why is the background so blurry? It's because we want it to be that blurry. I can't say anything else. Right? We shoot a particular way. You know, when you're booking a particular shoot with a photographer, try to see what his portfolio is like. Look at his gallery, get familiar with his style of editing, the way how he does his coloring, and ensure that the photos that you would like match his style of editing. That way you don't end up getting, you know, like photos and wondering why it looks this way. So a blurry background can come from either a long focal length, for those who know what I'm talking about. It's just the lens. Based on the lens that is used and the distance from the background you are and the particular settings that the photographer decides to use to capture your photo, it, in most cases, I like to do it as well. We have the background being blurry because it puts a lot more focus on you. You are the only thing in the scene that's in focus, so automatically and immediately your eyes are drawn to the subject that is in focus. Whatever is out of focus, you're not focusing on that. And then sometimes based on where you're placed and how things are in the background, we get some things that we call bokeh. Some people call it bokeh, right? Some nice, pretty circular light stuff. Looks really, really nice. Sometimes we get light flares. You know, it could be just the way how the colors look blurred out and how it complements your skin tone and the outfit. It looks aesthetically and artistically pleasing to us. So that's why it looks that way. That is why it looks blurry. Because we want it to be blurry. Because we love it blurry. We love it blurry. We love the background blurry. Right? So yeah. So those were 18 things that photographers hate to hear or dislike hearing, and I also tried my best to provide some insight, some information onto why we don't like it and what we would prefer. And yeah, I hope whoever is watching this is a very long video. It's probably, this definitely my longest video, but I hope y'all enjoyed the video. And yeah, I'll be posting more often. I had taken a break because I wanted to get some things together, and those things have come to fruition, so we're active again, recording again, and posting again. So thanks for tuning in, and see you again soon. Bless.